in that. Like, it doesn't have to be a laundry list of things because I could make a list. You know how people have a list? I don't have a list. I know what I like in a person. I know the type of people that I have connection with. I know what I'm compatible with.
So my lists are really values. That's what my lists are. You know, people have lists of, oh, I want him to be 6'5", brown skin,
make $350,000 a
yeah.
year. Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls podcast. I'm Aries.
And I'm Kim.
Hello, Kim.
Hello, Aries.
We're back in studio with me.
Yes, it's good to be back.
Good to have you back.
It's kind of late, you know. I've been doing a lot of sleeping.
You sleep?
I do. So Friday I got up, chemical peel.
Let me make sure I can hear you because I feel like your mic is you're not in front.
My lips are on the mic.
Okay, now you sound better. Right there. Get back on it. Get on it.
So this weekend, well, Friday after work, I think I shared with you I've started incorporating facials because I was having some hormonal acne.
That stuff is no joke. I get it on my chin sometimes.
Yes. And I was like, you know what? Here's an opportunity. I'm at home, you know, just time is easier. And what can I do to incorporate more self-care, especially during the pandemic? So I got a chemical peel. And so she was like, look, I know you're a busybody when it comes to working out and like being in the sun, like riding my bike. She was like, you have to stay in because you'll damage your skin because it's going to peel off the dead skin. And I have a new layer of skin to get rid of the hyperpigmentation.
Hyperpigmentation. All right.
So I was like, you know what? Mom's the word. Cool. I'll stay in the house, which I feel like with the pandemic, I've become a new introvert.
You ain't got no problem with staying in the
I
house.
really don't. I'm like starting to enjoy it. So I realized the benefits of staying in the house. When you stay in the house, you don't spend money.
Well, unless you get on Amazon, because I got packages on packages that be showing up to my door, but not because I'm just spending money. But yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So tell me, what about your weekend?
What did I do this week? Let's see. I got a haircut, which is why if y'all are on
YouTube,
I can't really see. I have my hair in a bun right now, anyways, because I got a haircut. So I got a curly cut this weekend.
Tell us more.
It was all, you know, she's like a, you know, master cutter or whatever. Well, she master cut the heck out of my hair. And I was like, I don't like, it was just too short. It's not short, but it needed to be cut. It needed to be trimmed, you know, and stuff like that. So we're working on getting it back healthy and all that. So I'm going to try to incorporate those like quarterly just to grow it out, you know, to get it to grow back more healthy.
You can't grow with dead ends, honey.
Exactly. And I'm not really a hair person like that. I mean, you see, I just be having the faux locks in, which I'm going to get right back on in when I can. But I just want my hair to be healthy, period. So I tried to recreate what she did, and I was like, oh, no, this got to go. So we're going to slap this back in the ponytail and until I can figure out how to really work my new hair. I didn't have time today, so I had to make it work.
So we were kind of on the same wavelength, right? We're getting rid of the
dead. Get rid of the dead weight. Get rid of the dead hair, the dead skin. I mean, come on now. Come on, cut. You got to cut it off. If it ain't alive, you got to cut it. Yeah. Hey, the dead relationships, the dead friendships, the dead whatever it is, the dead job, whatever it is.
Whatever's not growing and thriving,
it needs to be pruned.
It needs to be pruned. What did we both watch Pastor Daniels, and he said relationships need to be fruitful, fulfilling, and what was the other F?
Fruitful, fulfilling, and
I wrote it down.
I don't remember.
Flourishing.
Flourishing. Yes, he's awesome.
He is always on point. And so I literally, before that sermon, I think I shared with Kiara, because we're both single. She's like, "Well, mommy, do you want to date?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it needs to be fruitful." Like, I don't see the purpose of getting in a relationship that's not going to bear additional fruit. Like, as an individual, I'm already bearing my own personal fruit.
The Bible says, "Be fruitful and what? Multiply." That is not just babies.
Thank you.
And you need productive relationships. That's period. That's friendships. That's business relationships. That's romantic, all of them. I mean, I don't think you should be in relationship with anyone if it's not productive or fruitful or value adding relationships, in my opinion.
So let's unpack that.
Let's.
Right. So
let's.
Aries and I have been doing Ready to Love recap with no cap on YouTube. So go check that out.
Go check it out. If y'all like Ready to Love, go binge watch our recaps of each episode. I have learned so much
just from this TV series. Like, we've been watching it
since the beginning.
Yeah.
And this was the first time we've done recaps, but I feel like we were already recapping together, so we're like, let's do a recap, on YouTube. And this one, to me, I feel like it shows where I'm at, because I really have been on point with the personalities. Like, my predictions have been on point. My analysis of how I feel people are when I first saw them, I was like, okay, like, I'm seeing some things that red flags, certain things. And so I was pretty good. I feel like, okay.
You know what that is?
I'm seeing
that
things.
Is the discernment.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm working my gift a lot more, just in different areas. So something like that, it's a fun way to really see things and be like, oh, wow. Like, what would I have done in this situation or whatever? And not that I would be perfect. It's just a matter of,
how would I have handled
how do you handle things? Yeah. And what does it look like? You're like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to look like that, or come off a certain way. And so it's been fun. It's been fun. I feel like relationships are, it's a big part of our life every day, right? We have relationships, friendships, and things like that. But when it comes to dating and being romantic, like, one of the things they say is like, who you marry is one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make. And it really determines where you're going to go.
Who you marry and who you have children with.
Yes. But who you marry is going to determine your level of success, as you go forward, whatever that looks like to you.
Right.
Right. You want someone that's going to be supportive, that's going to be in alignment with your purpose, and you're able to be yourself. You have a connection, you have chemistry, you have compatibility, all those things. I need them all. I need all three.
You need all three. You need all three. It's like,
yes, I need all three.
I can't have one without the other.
You need compatibility, chemistry, and connection. I have to have it all. And that's not even nowadays you got the people out here talking about high value man, high value woman, traditional, modern, blah, 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 blah. I need connection, chemistry, and compatibility.
Connection, chemistry, that's 4.
Connection, chemistry, compatibility, 3.
Oh, I was adding adding character.
Well, that too, but I'm only going to have connection with someone. You're going to have a certain connection based on have compatibility. All those things are going to be incorporated in that. Like, it doesn't have to be a laundry list of things, because I could make a list. People have a list. I don't have a list. I know what I like in a person. I know the type of people that I have connection with. I know what I'm compatible with.
So my lists are really values. That's what my lists are. People have lists of, I want him to be 6'5", brown skin,
make $350,000 a year.
So let's unpack that. So we don't always talk throughout the week, but we will send our love language is definitely like TikTok. We'll send a video like, girl, did you see this? And I'm not really on social media that much, right?
TikTok. She lying, y'all. She be on TikTok.
Yeah, I like TikTok.
And Twitter.
Well, and
those are her social media.
Yes. And really Twitter's for quick information, but now I've kind of leaned over to TikTok. And so on my For You page, what I'm starting to see a lot of is the disjointedness between black women and black men.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
And
I
it's
hate
actually
it.
pretty, I do too.
It sucks.
And it's like, is this where we are? Like, I'm just even thinking about the whole racial social injustice. Like, we aren't unified as
Even
it's
in that, it's
right.
like, well, Black lives matter, Black women's lives matter, Black trans lives matter, Black gay lives matter. It's like it'll be like all these things that separate the points.
Yes.
And even in our relationships, we do the same thing. It's like, well, we out here doing this, and then the black men be like, well, we the ones who doing this, and it's like this battle, like we're competitors instead of family, you know.
Instead of just synergizing as one and saying, how can we be or go together, unify? And so this week, I don't usually get on Clubhouse just because, I'm on conference calls all day, so I don't want to hear somebody talking. But this one particular Clubhouse popped up, and it was basically saying that the title was like Black single moms are the reason why we have an issue with in the Black community.
What?
Yes.
And first of all, how they become single moms?
So that was my first thing. It's like
like they by themselves.
They're single, and they're single for a reason because someone's missing from the picture.
Where are the men?
Where are the men?
Maybe they're saying that the women ran the men off or something like that. Usually people who have those kind of rooms are haters. They don't like women.
I briefly listened, and it was very disturbing.
What were they saying?
The man was basically just talking about why the black community is the way it is because we have these black single moms, and just blaming black women for the reason why we are where we are. And so this one lady was speaking up. He said, shut up. He was just being very demeaning. He said, I'm speaking, you'll speak when I'm done.
Oh, hells no.
So it was just like,
I can't be in those kind of rooms.
I had to get out, and I
can't.
And I'm not gonna say what I did, but I did
I
get out.
Do it. I couldn't do it.
And I was like, people like that. But it was so many people in the room. And I'm like, we have to stop giving attention to people like that. So you have your Kevin Samuels.
He probably tired of paying child support.
I don't know. I don't even
That's
know.
Usually it's somebody who has been hurt in some way that now has this blanket view of what all single moms or all black women or all, you have the guys that'll say, I don't date black women because they have attitudes and because whatever, but it's like you literally took one experience probably of a black woman who treated you a certain way. She just so happened to be black. And now you're like, I don't like black women. And it's just like, that's crazy. Because we would say that would be racist of somebody else to do that based on a single, experience or whatever.
And sometimes black women I feel like we're not always angels in terms of
we're people.
Exactly.
That's why.
But I feel like black women still stand by black men.
But we can't put this generalized statement on any race.
Exactly.
We can't say all black women are like this because every black woman isn't like #black mama either. You know how we'll be like, how black mamas are. All black mamas don't do the same things.
They do not.
All black women don't do the same things. All black men don't do the same things. But there are commonalities and threads that we can see within each thing that we're like, okay, like you said, you've been seeing a pattern. I think the rise of this Kevin Samuels, high value man and the women, and he's just been tearing women down on his show, saying, oh, you're 40 and you got kids. Oh, you need to just settle with a man that make this much a year and be happy with an average man. Like, this is the stuff that he puts out there. And then you got black men like, see?
Yeah.
Be out there.
Just accept us as average.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you're going to get.
The ones that it relates to, they're going to be the ones that are in their comments and being like, yeah. And then you have some black men who will be like telling brothers that you need to step your game up because why would some woman want to respect somebody who talks about them this way or just do this? So you have exceptions to everything, but I get what you're saying as far as, the conversation that's happening. And I think a lot of it, what I've noticed is it's been this traditional versus modern conversation. And I think it's the uniqueness and where we are
today
as a society, right? Like women are working. We work in corporate jobs. back in the day, they didn't. For the most part,
they were in the home.
They mostly were in the home. I grew up with grandmothers who worked.
Yeah.
So neither one of my grandmothers were stay-at-home mothers. My grandfathers worked and my grandmothers worked, and their kids took care of each other.
Right.
So it wasn't, my mom was a stay-at-home wife. And she enjoyed that. That was something that she loved. She loved to have a traditional man that worked, brought home the bacon, and she cooked it and cleaned the house. You know how my mom is. She's very domesticated, and all that, and I'm not like that. Like, I would not necessarily want to be a stay-at-home mom, per se. But so, I think the thing is, there's a mix of values, right? Like, you might have, hey, I may have some traditional values and some modern values, in certain things. So I think that's where it kind of comes down to. It's like, you'll have women with a list of all the things that they want their man to have. Men have a list of things they want women to have. Can you cook? Can you do this? Can you do, they'll ask
Can you flip?
They want you to flip, cook, do all the things. But they don't know how to fix nothing. That's what I found. I'm like, where are the fixing men who know how to fix stuff?
They have not been taught, because apparently the daddies might not be teaching them.
And same thing with the girls who don't cook, right? So you have certain women that don't cook nowadays because they just DoorDash and,
Well, somebody said this generation is crab legs and
I think it's just a mix of, the times with, you may have looked at your parents and felt like, oh, I want that, or I don't want that, and I want something else. There was a guy on the Ready to Love who he's like, I'm a traditional man. I want a woman who being a provider. That's easy. I'm gonna take care of, you. I want you to be this way. And so he came out the gate knowing, hey, you don't have to work that little job. I got that. I got us on that. I need you just to bring peace to the home and take care of me. And if you have a woman that's into that,
because there are some out there.
There's a lot. And I think that's where we go wrong. We're trying to convert people instead of finding what we want.
Yep.
And to me, I'm over that. Like, I used to feel that way. I kind of would be like, well, why they don't want to be this way? Well, they're not. There's a guy.
It goes back to compatibility, and you having to find who you are compatible with and communicating to say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm looking for. And if that's not what you are and you're not willing to conform to that, then you say, hey, I'm just not for you.
You just don't try to change somebody. I think you'll be like, but I like everything about you except for that part, you know?
And you might say, you know what? Out of 25 things, that one thing, I might be willing to compromise on that.
Right. But what I'm finding as an older woman dating is you'll have these men who have kids. And this is not about Black men. This is just period. I don't date anything but Black men. So I don't know nothing but Black men at this point.
Okay.
I've dated a white guy once, but it was just kind of like, that's just my friend, now. But I've dated Black men. So I only know Black men. So it's not about all Black men. It's just the Black men that I've dated. So I find that they really the ones that have kids, they're looking for a mom for their kids. So they are attracted to me as a mother. They get attracted. They'll be attracted to me physically, but they also are like attracted to how I am as a mom. So they be like, oh, you're going to be a good mom, to my kids, which is fine. Because I would be if we were together. I'm going to be just like I would be with my kids. I'm going to be that. I've been a bonus mom, so that has been proven, At the same time, when I meet certain guys that have younger kids, I don't want to start over. So I'm like, if they're not at least around my kids' age or older, I'm kind of like, So I was honest with this one guy who he wants a traditional woman. And I told him, I said, listen, instead of trying to change someone into being that, there are women who would love to take care of your little snotty nose kids. They would love to do that. They would love to decorate your house. They go to Michael's and Hobby Lobby on the weekends for fun. I'm not that. So it's not a match.
It's not going to work.
You may think you like me. You might like me as a person, but not when we're talking about moving into a further, into a relationship. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with somebody not liking me because I'm not what they would ideally, look for
or want.
So I want to feel that same freedom in the type of man that I want. I don't want a caveman. I don't want somebody who's trying to. I think I have a mix of modern and traditional. I believe in gender roles to a certain degree, but I also believe in partnership.
Absolutely.
And if I'm better at this than you allow me the chance to be that for us. Like just like if we were running a business. If I'm better at the finances, then let me be the CFO. You're better at the vision and strategy, then you can be the then you the CEO. I'll be the COO and I'll help bring your vision to light, whatever. That's what that's how I approach it. I don't like the negative stuff that's out there with
I don't either,
the black women and black men. It's just bad.
You think about it, it's like, okay, we have a mix of you at work. You're working from home and you're some days, it's a hybrid. You might go in. I'm more so, like you said, that hybrid, a mix of modern and traditional. It just really depends. And I think I shared a video with you with TikTok of Kevin Samuels. One thing I have said is that what I'm looking for, I'm gonna be realistic and ideal in terms of I'm not asking for anything more than I'm able to bring and offer to the table. That's just me. Like, I'm not gonna ask you, oh, I need you to make $500,000.
That would be nice.
It's a nice, but it's not
a requirement.
Exactly.
I was telling you, I have some friends, a couple that I love. They're one of my favorite married couples. They're probably the only married couple right now that makes me think marriage is possible and to be happy in marriage. Because listen, y'all have not been selling marriage lately. I've not been in. First of all, I've been married, so I'm not like
there.
Yeah, it's rough out here in these streets. So, but I have this friend couple that he was like a maintenance man when they met. And anybody on the surface would be looking like maintenance man. People be trying to judge the blue collars. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sleep on the blue collars.
Do not sleep on those blue collars.
Okay, because he is a good dude. Like straight
high character.
High character. I mean, he came at her with straight game. Okay. So she was a single mom. I think her son was like 12 when they met. And he observed her for some time. By the time he came to her, he knew he wanted her from the beginning and was like, look, I want to take you out. Da-da-da. She's like, well, I have my son. He asked her to go out to a movie or something like that. And she was like, oh, I have my son. And he was like, I like G movies. I was like, you better come with the game. So he came at her on some intention in the beginning, straight up, letting her know, like, I'm here for the long haul. Like, I'm here to be with you. Like, I'm not playing with you. And they're just super cute and they love each other and they're really, really happy. Like, it's not fake.
And it wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money. She saw past all of that, and they met older. I think he was probably like 47 or something. He didn't have any kids and she had a baby. Which I was like, girl, you better than me. But it worked out for them. There is always, when you have that connection, that compatibility, that chemistry and all that, it can work. It doesn't matter. And it wasn't about money. Like, she was making money and she left her high paying job and started working as a teacher because it was about passion, like what she wanted to do, something that she's always been about. She was always into like English and writing and all that, even working in the corporate tech space. And so they're living their life. And I'm like, so that's why you can't just judge people by this. Oh, what's high value? What is high value to you? Everybody uses these numbers.
And I think the high value equates to money.
They always talk about money.
And we all know that, you can start off having it and in a split second, it could be gone. And so you take away the money, then what do you have?
I've dated men with little money and men with lots of money. Lots of money meaning, over 300, or whatever. And I've dated dudes that made more than that. And I really was like turned off by some of their ways, and just because somebody makes money doesn't mean they keep money either. when they're just all about showboating, and it's just certain things that I'm turned off by. I'm not into the just stunting for the gram and all that. Like that is a turn off to me. You're not gonna win me over by showing me your car and all the things. If you're just showing your vacation and being like, we had a good time, cool. But when it's like you posing out in front of the car and all that, I'll be like, I don't even want to see you. So it really is all about what you think. But I don't like us being at odds with each other as a community.
I don't either.
We need each other right now, and we've always needed each other. And we could do so much more together than this hate. And it's like, you got to wonder where that's coming from. I mean, this particular, the guy who's out here doing all that and saying all these things, when I look in the comments, it's sad, to see the people who are in there just commenting and saying like, yeah, this guy, he's on point. Black women be so mad. And it's always like Black women. Why it gotta be us?
We're so policed by everyone.
I'm so annoyed.
Yes. And really, I think it comes down to a couple of things. One is like managing what you listen to and what you take in, right? I really had to get off of that because it pissed me off.
Yeah, I went and looked just because we mentioned it today, but I don't even engage in that. If I see somebody,
I actually reported the person because I was like, that's a form of hate.
It is.
And what he was doing, and I don't agree with it. Number two, we need to get back to the basics of the Bible in the verse. What is love? Right?
What
doesn't talk about money,
baby. Don't.
Now, I'm not saying you don't need it to survive and thrive in that, so that you all can unify together and be fruitful in whatever that is, right? But it's like we're losing out on character.
Yeah.
What does your character look like? How do you treat me?
Yeah.
Do you respect women?
Pastor actually, his sermon this week was talking about, I forgot the title, but this is what he was talking about as far as like relationships and how we relate to each other and the ways in which we really could make our relationships better when we learn from God's example. He came down, put his power all into this flesh, which is what Dr. Darius talked about this morning about. Him putting himself in a body was a form of humility and meekness, because he basically minimized his power and did not exert what he could have exerted,
right?
On earth, right? So knowing that you have the power and not using it is a form of strength.
It really is.
Right? And if we all could learn from Jesus's example on how to just, you may want to say something and not say it because you're caring for this person's heart more so than getting your point across. That is a form of strength. I mean, that's definitely something I've been working on.
And like self-discipline as well.
It is, so the fruit of the spirit is real. The long suffering, the patience, all these things are, you have to have another vision in your eyesight, a different level of eyesight to see what you want as a result, rather than letting your pride take over and allow you to just mess up a whole thing. It's something that literally I've been working on since I got, since I went through the divorce with the boy's dad, because I wasn't doing that. Like, I was totally like, I'm gonna get my point across and you need to know that I know that I know that, I was being all that. But I've learned from that over the years, and I teach that to my sons now at their young age so that they won't be grown men doing that kind of stuff. I'd be like, me and Marvin had gotten to it one time, and I'm like, do you want the relationship or you want to be right? Do you care more about us being doing good?
You just said a key word.
Or you want to be right?
It's our pride.
It's pride.
It is pride.
Pride comes before the fall. That's what the Bible says. So we got to let go of all of that. And it does take faith. It takes, which leads to you trusting God more and being able to abide in him and not rely. It was something I heard today, and it was actually about relationships. And Jada, who was our pastor's wife, was on this panel with these ladies on, that show they have on YouTube. And they were talking about love, and they were just talking about in relationships and forgiveness and all these different things and learning to love again. And it was about church hurt. It was about relationships, friendships, all kinds. It wasn't just like romantic.
Right.
But basically, when you put yourself in a place to be open to love again, you are saying, I'm giving my heart to God to care for now. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to be vulnerable in this space and I'm going to put my trust in him, not the other person or myself.
Yes.
And that is the hardest part about like forgiveness or, you know, giving yourself another chance to love. Maybe you were hurt in your past relationship or somebody hurt you. That's why you hate Black women. Or whatever, right?
And you take it out on that entire race just based on one experience or a couple.
Exactly. But when you can say, you know what, I'm going to not charge you for someone else's, you know, mess up or flaws.
For their offense.
I'm going to be back open because you're able to really receive when you can just give that freely, you know, and it's hard. I mean, because you build up these walls and guards up to protect you in all these different ways. So when I see those comments and I look, I'm like, oh, these people are hurt. Yeah. Like
they haven't gotten healing.
The healing is so necessary.
Healing and to just really dig deep into what is love? How do I show that? Right. Because I think that is really a big disconnect. We haven't been loved like we wanted to be loved as children, perhaps. So we haven't healed from the hurt from our childhood.
Right.
And so since we haven't healed, we can't be effective in our loving to others.
Exactly. So I just encourage us all to take this as, you know, when you see that kind of stuff, just try not to feed it. I don't even argue it or combat it or any of that. Like, I don't get into the comments. I just say, you know what, how can I show more love today? And when I see Black men, I love on them. I try to give as much as I can. You know, sometimes when I see those, you know, ones like that, I just be like, let me get away from this because this is just annoying. I hate it. But the ones that are not like that, I try to show as much love as possible. And this month, we're going to be doing a lot of that for pretty much almost every week coming up. Highlighting some Black men that are all about promoting Black women, Black people, but a lot of, you know, the ones that we're bringing on are really all about how can I help Black women as well, you know, so they've succeeded and they're also helping Black women along the way. Those are the type of people I want to give my energy to. I don't want to give my energy to these dudes who are trying to tear Black women down
and degrade the Black woman.
No, we got to give it to the people who are doing it so that we can show an example of what it should look like. Right.
Because they said what you focus on.
Exactly. It grows. What you focus on will be, how's it go? I forgot how the saying goes. There's a saying.
It sure is.
Because it's a cute saying. I like it.
But I won't be feeding it. And I realized like it gave me a headache. I was so I was
and that's
so
why
upset.
I don't do it. That's why I don't do it. Because I know I'm passionate about Black women. I am passionate about Black people, period. So I get pissed when people say things or do things against us. Like, I take it personal either way. I don't like when Black women bash Black men all the time either. I jump in on that too. I'm like, hey, I'm raising some Black men now. Calm down. So I don't want you being like that. But I did tell my sons, I'm like, listen, nowadays, the things are a little bit different. You're not going to get a woman. They don't even expect that, I don't think, because they live with me. They see how I'm functioning. They don't expect a stay-at-home mom. They don't even know what that looks like. They know I stay at home because I work from home, you know, but not
they know
like
you're
that.
Working.
Exactly. But I'm like, you're going to have to learn how to take care of yourself, because more than likely by the time you become a man, you're not about to get no woman you just going to be at home working and she come home and take care of the house and all that. Like, look, you're going to hire you somebody like how I got to help us come in here and
outsource it.
Exactly. But I did tell them they need to make more money than they woman.
And you know what?
I did.
It's okay that you told them that, because I think that's a conversation that needs to be had, because it also tells them a baseline, right? And setting expectations, because I'm sorry, we have a lot of Black women who are very ambitious and are doing the darn thing. And we need men who are going to level up as well.
I feel like it gives them fire.
Exactly.
And it wasn't like you're a caveman, you need to make more money than your woman. I said, she makes more money. That's fine. I said, but I'm going to be honest with you. Right about now, just from what we just got to talking about, what we're seeing in society is that there's an extra level of respect when you're paying for things. Just like how I'm paying these bills up in here and I can make the rules.
Respect it.
That's just how it works. Okay. So I'm just putting that out there. But and I wanted to kind of, use it just as a little fuel for their fire, because I feel like it's possible. You can do whatever you want to do.
My dad actually didn't make as much as my mother.
I remember you said that.
But he paid all the bills. So just because you don't make it, he would have a little hustle on the side. So for instance, that TikTok I sent you with that chick when she said, "Hey, I'm looking for a guy who's making 140,000." That might not really be reality right now, because there aren't a lot of Black people making six figures. And then you break it down even further, the man versus the woman. But what if this man is making 50,000, but he has property and he has passive income that's making where he's able to bring in additional income?
And not a whole bunch of bills, and he
exactly,
because it's people who are able to save more than they make.
Correct. They may not have student loans, or whatever the case may be. So it's like you really can't judge people by that. Now, if you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm making this, and I would like for you to be in this range," that's your preference, and that's okay.
Exactly. So, I just don't want us going back. Again, you can have your philosophies. It is what it is. Everybody has what they have in their mind. For me, it's just a matter of, can you take care of yourself and a family? Like, if I'm doing it, I expect you to be able to do it.
And do you live alone?
And it's not about, it ain't about how much, per se. And the money is just a secondary piece. It's so much more before we get to how much money you make.
How you communicate.
Yeah, it's not even about all that. It's about like so much more. Compatibility, chemistry, and connection. That comes first. How do I know how much money you make? I'm not gonna know. Unless you're struggling and then you bumming and trying to ask me for some. That would be different. Anyway,
at that point, you don't need to be dating.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to be dating. If you're broke, you don't need to be dating as a man. Women can get away with it. We just can't. Yeah, we just can. That's the privilege of the womanhood. Anywho, y'all, we're gonna let y'all go. I gotta run. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Subscribe, y'all. We got a couple little extra subscribers this week. So can y'all go and tell your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel? And we're trying to grow that page and trying to be a little bit more proactive about sharing that with you all. Also, head over to boldblackgirls.com and get your Bold Black Girl mug and t-shirt. Help us grow this pod. Got Kim back in the studio this week. I'm excited. She about to be peeling at the face this week.
I know.
With her fresh skin. So we're going to see how the glow is looking next week.
The glow and the grow. You growing and glowing.
Come on.
Growing and glowing.
Listen, I didn't cut the hair of the child. Lord help me find somebody to break my hair this week. All right, y'all. We love you. And we hope you have a bold week. We'll see you next time.
Peace.